Hey everybody, welcome to Half Beard Tut's Heads Up. Today we're checking out Axiom Verge. Just comes out today on the PS4, it's coming for the Vita and PC as well. This game's pretty damn cool. We have a review of it up as well, but I wanted to show some of it just on video because it kind of needs to be shown in parts. So I played for a while. It's kind of a long game, as you can see. I've got 12 hours in there. I haven't even beaten it. The game is hard. I am stumped. I got about 75% of the way through and just had to put it down. So that is where that save file is at. So let's just start a new save file. Let's go for it. Normal and hard. We're going with normal. Watch this intro movie. The year 2005. That's how you know it's good sci-fi. And, yeah, here we go. It's basically about science, man, doing science things. And then the science, it goes wrong. Science attacks. And then the game starts. Also, he kind of looks a little bit like a chode. Sideburns, the poofy hair. To be fair, he looks like a scientist who thinks he's too good for thinks he's too good for school in 2005. He looks like he's got that down. So, I'll give him that. Yep. Science happens. And he's like, oh no, science. Science is doing things wrong. Oh no, there's a problem. What's that sound? Wait for it. Boom! And then the room explodes. That's cool. I like that visual effect there. All these cutscenes are pretty good. You get a few of these out the game. Not too many. Most of the game is done kind of in the style of a classic NES game, essentially. Which we shall see in a second as the game loads up. And here we are in this other world with no sense of time or location. How long have we been dead? Because we were dead. That's what this machine does. It revives you. We don't know. It's a problem. But whatever. Here we are. There's a gun in the next room. We must get it. Specifically, it is called the Axiom Disruptor. We need to go disrupt some axioms with it. Get a good look at this. It's kind of like it's a gross Geiger-esque world, like mechanical and like stone earth formations hewn and distorted with unknown technology and just organisms and biology that don't feel natural. Lots of alien protrusions and effluence. It's a good look. So we got our gun. We gotta go find this lady who's talking to us by Metroidvaniaing around, basically. Good music in this game. It's got a very eclectic soundtrack, actually. Like, you got this stuff, which is kind of like very, kind of more, I would say more 90s sci-fi. You got some more kind of like 80s sci-fi stuff. You got some weird, almost like world music kind of business. Very good, very eclectic soundtrack. And again, the look, like in terms of the actual technology of look, they've gone for a very cool kind of like, I would say late-gen NES. Maybe early SNES is the kind of style they are trying to ape here, where that seems to be the level of kind of like polish, not polish, like level of like kind of pixel depth on the assets here. And you can see that as well in like the soundtrack. It's got a very almost abrasive sound design, actually, which I kind of like. It is a fitting sound design. All right, can't go that way. And it's just, it feels very accurate. Like, that's kind of this whole game's whole deal. So it all feels very, I'm talking about these jumps. It feels very accurate to kind of its concept, which is glitchy. I'm not doing well today. Glitchy, kind of like mysteriously obtuse NES SNES games, I guess. Like, that whole practice of pulling the cartridge out seems to be this game's whole deal, if you know what I mean. Pulling the cartridge out early and seeing what monstrous, horrible things result from purposefully mishandling your games. That's the feel I get from this, which, it's a good look, it's a good feel, it's an interesting concept, and they do some really cool stuff with it, both visually and orally, and in terms of the actual gameplay. I'm gonna go show that right now. As I said, all about glitches. And in fact, kind of the glitch, I think they call it the breach is the name for the other world in this. Though I might be spoiling stuff by saying that, though I won't go any farther than that. It's not hard to understand that there might be some other alien influence working here when you see this stuff. This horrible, monstrous, just like perfectly glitchy stuff. Like the way that some of it is kind of flickering in and out, the way that some of it just kind of pops, like large chunks of it pop in and out in sync, the way that some of it is just permanently corrupted. It is a very accurate representation of what a glitched out NES game looks like. And it gets even like more true to form as it goes on. There is a power-up you get in this game very early on, a power-up, upgrade we'll call it, called the Address Disruptor, I think, or the Address Ray or something, which basically allows you to corrupt or decorrupt enemies and things in the world. And the look enemies get when you corrupt them is really impressive. It'll be stuff like, for these guys I think specifically, it kind of inverts the 4 squares of their assets. So those guys are building like 4 squares of assets, and they all just kind of flip, so there's this weird hole in the middle, and they're made of a square, and it looks wrong. Like, the whole point is that it's supposed to look wrong, and it's really cool. You'll get similar things like that with the other enemies, where they'll almost go invisible except for like one bit of a pixel, or they'll completely kind of shade out, or just be a scrambled mess. Like, it's very impressive. Got our first weapon now. There's a whole slew of weapons in this game. This is a cool one. All the weapons in this game are really interesting. None of them are just like a better gun. They all do cool stuff. So that one, as you saw, it fires a large projectile, and then you can press it again to detonate it along indirect fire. There's ones that are like, I'm not even gonna describe them. There's like just a shit ton of different weapons in this, and they all do really cool stuff. There's some that are indirect fire, there's some that are direct fire, there's some that are like spreading out in cool ways, some that have really cool effects, all sorts of just crazy stuff in this game in that sense. You can see this one looks like, and then if I press the button early on, it does that. And that's, you know, that's useful for certain boss fights. Definitely are kind of made for certain weapons. And making sure you have those weapons on hand is important. And those weapons, all the weapons in this game are not necessarily easy to find. They do not treat them like you deserve it just for playing. You have to definitely dig a little bit to find some of the weapons, and they are hidden in the harder parts of the game. There are these challenge rooms, essentially, that you kind of have to clear to get them, and they are tough. Especially if you try to do them early as possible, when the way to get in there is not... Let's just say it does not allow you to go in there at your full strength. Like, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's just... It's a fun game. It is a game that is very true to its concept, and I have to appreciate that. Keep attacking this. I don't want to get too close, so those bees will start shooting at me. See? Ah! Yeah, it definitely can be a little tricky to hit stuff sometimes if you're trying to dodge bullets, but that's, you know, traditional Metroidvania style. More Metroid style, obviously. In terms of controls, it feels good. Like, it's, there's a good feel to the jump. The shooting is, you know, you're shooting as fast as you want to. Let's switch back to the Axiom Disruptor. It's easy, just use the right stick and you will open up the menu. The weapon menu, you really quickly switch between guns, which is very important, especially for some boss fights later on where you need to switch up your tactics. Put it that way. Try not to spoil things too much, but there's a lot of cool stuff in this game, and I want to talk about it. Alright, so let's go this way. I don't actually think there's anything this way, but we're gonna go anything this way at the moment. We're gonna go check it out anyways. Actually, no, we're gonna go the other way. Because I want to show a boss, and I think the boss I want to show is down here. Because bosses are crazy in this game. They're crazy in a really cool way, so... down here... where we had this that we couldn't get through before. I probably should save, but whatever. Do that. Normally there is a save point right before bosses. You generally don't have to worry about that. I hate those things. The sound they make, I hate it. Well, yeah, so this is a boss room. You know, because they show this weird, crazy monster skull, and then you get a red door. So that means that there is going to be a save room right over here. Very, again, Metroid Castlevania style. If there is a boss, there is a save room. almost always. So you don't really have to worry too much about that. The game's pretty good about giving you the right kind of map design to find things in an adequate way. Like, you're generally able to kind of find where you need to go, or the map is, just show it here. You're kind of able to get a nice overview and figure out what places you might want to explore. That said, I am stuck in the game right now because of such an issue. The map has I've just kind of been lost. I love that. All the bosses yell like Sizzstar when you find them. It's great. Get these horrible monster bosses. They get way bigger than this. This guy is small compared to most of the bosses you'll fight later on. Oh, got hit. And the bosses are, you know, they're not easy. This is not an easy game. It is intended to be difficult. And I find the thing to do here is to fire just up indirectly to avoid his mines. Never try to fire directly at him. Nope. And a lot of the bosses are good about kind of having a gimmick. They're not necessarily like a trick you need to do to beat them. There's generally a, you know, they generally just have a lot of health and you still gotta beat them down that way, but they have a gimmick, a thing that you need to watch out for, a way that makes them kind of easier to beat. So, like, for this guy, obviously it is indirect fire is a trick. Or, you know, there'll be other ones later where it's something else that you gotta worry about. It's just, it's well designed in that way. Oh, come on. No boss health gauges, but they go redder. They start going more red as they're dying. So that's a good way to tell if you are getting there. That can sometimes be a little bit of a bummer. I kind of wish they had an actual health bar for the boss at times. I don't think it would necessarily fit with their theme of just like super glitchiness, but it would still be nice just because some of these bosses are again, really difficult. I spent probably an hour on one of the later bosses yesterday trying to beat it and just swearing my head off. And having a health bar to let me plan things out a little better for subsequent attempts would have been a nice thing to have. Oh, come on, you son of a bitch! I'm gonna get you. Okay, come on. I can do this. I've done it before. This is an easy boss, and there we go. He goes down. He's not too tough. And they explode in a bunch of nanites. Just the health stuff enemies are dropping. And every time you die, you just teleport it back to a save room without losing anything. It's pretty basic that way. Go get another thing. Pop, pop. This will be my drill. Yeah. Reminds me to laser drill through rock. Cut through it. And this, you'll get things that improve this later. Actually, this is considered a weapon, I think. So this improves as you pick up weapon power-ups, which I guess I haven't talked about yet. There are a ton of things in this game. Aside from just the weapons, there are upgrades. You can see the drill counts for these. These are generally movement and kind of like progress unlockers, so your jumping abilities and stuff like that. There's only not a double jump in this game. There's only an upper jump, and then there's a lot of cool other stuff. But like your things that would allow you better movement would go in here, along with kind of things like the drill and stuff like that. And then you got power-ups, which are, you know, increase your maximum health, increase your. Come on. Oh, I gotta get this right. This is tough. There we go. So in things like your, oh god, what was I gonna say? Things like your max health, things like the damage of your weapon, things like there's one right there. Increases the damage of my weapon, this one. Power node, yeah. But it also things like increasing the range of your weapon, increasing the size of the projectile, all sorts of stuff like that. There's some cool stuff, and that stuff goes across all weapons, so it's not just improving my little gun or my Nova, it's increasing all of my guns' strength or damage or whatever. So that's pretty cool. All in all, this game is pretty goddamn cool. I think it gets things right. So I'm gonna go just a little farther, and then I'm going to just go to my regular save game just for a sec. Just to kind of show off some of the cooler stuff in this game, because as much as I don't want to spoil anything, but I think showing this first half of the game is not enough. I think I need to show some of the later upgrades to really show kind of how just fucking crazy this game gets. So what I'll do is I'll probably stop for a second, come back to this area, and show kind of what some of the later stuff looks like. Just for shits and giggles. Yeah. Definitely feels good, though. Definitely looks good. Definitely plays good even at this part. Like, if the game just stayed like this, I wouldn't complain. So this looks like another upgrade, yeah. It's a rate. I think this is a size upgrade. Yeah, size, no. Permanently increase the projectile size for your weapon. So, yeah, that's kind of stuff in the first area at the start of the game. We will be back in just a sec with my other character. So we're back, same room. As you can see, though, I obviously look different. My health bar is significantly longer. And I've got some weird symbols under there. I'm not going to explain those symbols. And now, things are kind of ridiculous. You can see the map is giant. I got a whole bunch of stuff in my inventory. I'm not going to explain what any of it does. There's notes. There's password system. All sorts of business. I've got all these weapons now. I'm not going to explain what most of them do, but I will show a couple of them. I still got my Axiom Disruptor, but it's now significantly stronger. And you can see the projectiles are bigger, and they will go for more or less ever now. Destroy that thing in one shot. But then you also get stuff like, you get this pretty early on. This is a favorite of mine. The Kilver. Just that fucking hammer of Thor. And you can see I'm jumping way higher now. My drill is bigger. And I've got this address corruptor I was talking about earlier. Which, it makes guys, look at that. It makes guys go crazy looking. And it changes the way they do. So in this case, like, that guy just can't move anymore. Do that so you can see it. That's what enemies look like when you corrupt them. They look, like, genuinely, actually, truly broken. Which is just, it's a very, very cool effect. So that's neat. I can also do stuff like, let's find a good place for it. I can do stuff like, down here will have a good one for me. Back where we were, back where we got to that other boss area. No. Ah, what the hell, I can do it here. I can now teleport through things. Like that. So that's nuts. I'm not gonna explain where you get that or how you use it, but it's nuts. And yeah, like the game just continues to get crazier. You continue to pick things up. The stuff you are able to do and the way you get through things. There's one major mechanic I'm not even gonna talk about. Like, it all kind of, it all works with itself very well. And kind of exploring around, figuring out how to screw with enemies, how to make this, how to make it work to your advantage it's damn cool. It's what it is. Let's go this way. Teleport through there again. Because I think that's super cool, getting the ability to just teleport through walls. Because why not? Just teleport through walls. And the effect on that, where you just kind of like through, is it's really cool. Like, presentation-wise, this game is amazing. Gameplay-wise, it's pretty good too. My only real qualms with it is that it's very difficult. It is exceedingly difficult at times. And I don't think it necessarily needs to be so difficult. Like watch this. Now those bees can't move. And now this thing spits out health. Like, the ability to glitch out things like that is awesome. Also, now I got this scorpion tail that spits out additional shots. That's not a very regular upgrade. I've only found the one of those. I don't need the Kilver anymore. Let's find a different weapon. It's another one you get fairly early on that I won't feel bad about showing. The multi-disruptor. It's what you think. It's a spread gun. It is a spread gun. Get that pretty early on, too. I'm not going to show any of the later weapons, because they're too hot for you. That shit's too spicy. I don't want to show it. But, yeah. Shit gets, like... Shit gets the right levels of crazy later on. And you should go play this. If you have a PS4... Yeah, I mean, if you were looking for a really hard, classic... Metroidvania-style game, this will more than do it for you. Let's show one more weapon. How about the Hypo-Atomizer? Spits off in these cool rays. A lot more indirect fire. Yeah, like, this is totally worth it. It's 20 bucks. It's cross-buy. The Vita version is not out yet. They are still working on it from, to my understanding. But once it is out, you will get the Vita version for free if you buy it on PS4. It is also coming to Vita, not Vita, PSC. Though I don't know when that's coming out. They have not stated a date for PC yet, so keep that in mind. If you are averse to playing on consoles, you will get the chance to play this just... I don't know when. Eventually. You'll get it to play it eventually. So that's a thing. Yeah, I think that's Axiom Verge. It's $20. You can go check out our review right now. I really liked it, obviously. I haven't written the review yet. It'll be written as this goes up, but I think I liked it. I feel like I liked it. So the review will probably reflect that. And yeah, as always, I've been your host, Halfbeard, and we're out. Later, guys.